Hello, how we doing? Welcome to my live stream. Can you hear me? We'll start with that. I always start with that. Can everybody hear me okay? Hello, Paul from where's it? Tamworth, UK. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for stopping by. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I think we can. So if somebody can give me a thumbs up or a yes or a loud and clear, that would be awesome. Hello, Britt from Wyoming. Very good. Good to see you here. All right. Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. Cool. Let me throw the overlay up on the screen so you know what we're going to talk about today. Welcome. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by and welcome. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I do this, as you may or may not know, I do this every week, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Lately it's been over 2 hours, but I say at least an hour, but then as long as you guys want me to stay, I'll stick around. So, it's been, I think last week was actually 2.5 hours. So that was a long one, did lots of cool stuff. And if you don't know, after the live stream, if there's a time that you can't make it live, this is always available as a video on demand afterwards, just on my YouTube channel. So you could always watch them afterwards. So again, my name is Rob Moore. I do these live streams once a week. I also post YouTube videos on this channel 3 times a week. It's been 3 times a week for about 2 months now, and I'm going to keep going that way as long as I can. There's still lots of ideas that I've got, and you guys keep giving me new ideas, so that's perfect. That's just what I want, to make videos that you guys want me to see, or that you guys want me to make. Anyways, let me just get right into the comments here. Who do we got? If you're watching, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Feel free to introduce yourself, and we'll take it from there. Paul says, hi, Rob, from Tamworth, UK. Hello, Paul. Thanks for stopping in. We've got, and Paul says, yes, we can hear. Britt Moore says, hello, Wyoming here. Love your last name. Same as mine. Never been to Wyoming. You guys, I've been to Utah, which I believe is just south of Wyoming, but I'm sure it's beautiful country up there. Renata and Luis Menendez. Yes, you can hear me. Great. Hello. Welcome back to the live stream. Thanks for stopping in. Digital Learn Academy's here again. Yes, welcome. Good to see you again. Skunk Eye Music. Can hear you loud and clear. Hello from London. Hello. How you doing? There's no echo, is there? I want to make sure there's no echo. That usually only happens if I have a copy of the live stream open myself, but I don't, so we should be okay. All right. So what else do we got going here? Skunk Guy Music, hello. And Square Egg, hello from England. Can you hear you loud and clear? Awesome. Welcome back, Square Egg. Good to see you again. Sybil Morgan, greetings from St. Louis, Missouri. Is it Missouri or Missouri? I've heard it pronounced both ways. Another state I have not been to. I've been close, but not in Missouri. Pamela Powers, hello, Pam. Welcome back. And you can hear me loud and clear. Awesome. Balance Ballo, hello. Al Babar from Pakistan. Hello, welcome. All the way from Pakistan. Yes, I think you were here last week. It's late in Pakistan, I believe. It's just after 2 p.m. here, 1 o'clock Eastern. Who else we got? Roger Williams. Roger from Cape Town, South Africa. Awesome. Welcome. Good to see you here. Britt Moore says, sounds good. Sybil says, Missouri, if you're rural. Oh, I see. I get it. I don't think I'm rural. I'm about half an hour from a city here, but it sounds like I could probably say it either way and I'd be all right. Very good. Interesting to know. I didn't know that. Again, I've got a list of things to go over here. I've kind of revamped the overlay a little bit. And in fact, I've created the overlay already for next week. Next week is going to be the big reveal of Camtasia 2024, as long as everything remains on schedule. So far, so good. I haven't heard otherwise, but I'm really looking forward to that. And so yeah, I've created the overlay for that. I can't show it to you yet. And for this one, I revamped it a little bit. So usually what we do here is I'll go through a bit of an introduction. I'll take any questions you have right now. If there's anything you want to see me demonstrate in Camtasia throughout this live stream, you can ask it at any time. You don't have to follow... oh, actually, no, I never did update this. I thought I updated that so that number 2 would be Q&A, but I did not update that. But yeah, you can ask questions anytime. And if I'm in the middle of something and I don't see your question, I will get to it eventually. I always go through the chat and I get to all questions. And if I don't have an answer for you, or if I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you. So that's usually the way I handle things here. I don't work for Camtasia. I don't consider myself an expert in Camtasia, although I've used it for many, many years. There's probably lots about Camtasia that I haven't used or done. There's all kinds of different ways you can use it. So, and there's often more than one way to do things. And my way isn't always the best way. So, so with that out of the way, just so you know, what I usually teach is how I do things. And if you guys along the way can show me a better way or another way, I'm always interested to find that out as well. David Bergerson from Santa Barbara, welcome. Good to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy. Uterp Lab, hi from sunny Italy, hand pink waving. Okay, we went through this last week. The Ecamm Live doesn't decipher the pink hand waving. I can see it in the YouTube Live, but that's not the way it pops up here. That's funny. Sunny Italy, very good. It is not sunny here in Nova Scotia today. It's very rainy. I think maybe we're getting some of the remnants of all the storms that happened in the mid-US that I think made it to the East Coast US the last day or so. We're just north. We're on the East Coast as well, but north of Boston, say, for those of you who are in the US and know your geography. We usually get whatever New York and Boston gets, but a day or two later. So, but yeah, it's stormy out there today. Okay, so what is next that I have here? So yes, since last Tuesday, when I last went live, I have come out with I posted 3 new YouTube videos. Let me know also if that's too many. I don't know if that's too many. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get as much content out there to basically build a library in my channel of all things to do with Camtasia, and not just Camtasia, but also anything to do with posting videos to YouTube and freelancing life. So like how to earn a living as a freelancer or as a user of Camtasia, how to use Camtasia as a tool in your business, whether that's a business that you're working for somebody else or your own home-based business. Yeah, so anything to do with any of that is what I will help you with here. Lately, it's been all about Camtasia, and that's totally fine. And the main reason for that is because the next version, 2024, is coming out soon, and I want to get a large library of good content on how to use it. And then as soon as 2024 comes out, I will start updating some videos as they need updating, but also, and probably first, I'll come out with videos showing how to use the new tools that are in Camtasia 2024, and there are new tools. I'm sworn to secrecy. I've seen it. I was in a meeting last week, and I'm really excited. There's some stuff in there that I've been waiting for quite a while, but I can't really say any more than that. For more details, you'll have to wait till Tuesday. The plan for them is to release it on Tuesday morning, the June 4th. I go live at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, so I should have lots of time to be able to show it to you live. I've got a copy of it on my computer now. I just can't show it to you. But yeah, so, and also they may do some updates. They're still working out some bugs here and there. But I haven't noticed anything crashing or anything like that yet. Everything seems to be working just great. So yes, so that was a bit of a tangent because we were going to talk about that point number 4. But so the latest videos, last Wednesday, the day after my live stream, I came out with a video called Draw on Top of Videos. Okay, that's just kind of the short title for it. But that was a little something. It's not unique to Camtasia. You could use any video editing software to do what I did in that video. And if I just share, just going to work here, my screen. Let me just double check. Version 2023. Yeah, okay. I'm not about to, that is the right version. If I go here and basics, where are we? This one. Let's open that. That is the video from last Wednesday. Right here. So something else I like to do is I like to show you how I made my videos, because that typically generates some curiosity, some questions, so yeah, so I open it up. This kind of shows you that I made this video in Camtasia. There's lots going on here. It's not as complicated as it first looks if you just kind of break it down. There's 3 main tracks. You got the voiceover track, the video, sorry, that's the screen recording track. And then up here is the video. Whoops, put a marker there. Let's delete that. And in this case, in most of my videos, I remove the background from the video of me, and then I put me in the small corner like this, right? So, and you can see that, yeah. So yeah, those are the 3 tracks. And then whenever you see all kinds of things stacked like this in the timeline, that's usually when there's a lot of things going on. So typically text. Okay, text or sound effects. So in this case, so the intro, I had a little overlay here, how to draw on your videos. I had a little video here, and you can see when you highlight it here, you can see where it is popping up. It gets highlighted down here on the timeline. Let me just, I have to minimize this. Okay. And then when you get to all of this stuff stacked, that's because I had all these text items in there. Okay, do you see that? So anyways, my point of showing you this was I showed you how to draw on an iPad and have it show up in your video. Now, if you've watched the video, you've probably already realized, well, wait now, you didn't do that live. You drew on your iPad and then captured it in the iPad and then exported it. You know, I airdropped it to my Mac, and then I put it in the video and I synced it up, which is exactly what I did. So if you look here, so this video, this right here was another camera angle. The camera I have back here, which you can see there, the camera I have back there, I had that set up to, I'm confusing myself here. I had that set up to look down at the iPad. So that's how I made that. It was another camera. I had 2 cameras filming at the same time. This one looking at the iPad, this one looking at me. Okay, and then I put it together, and I explained how to do that. So again, it was not live. I brought it in. Now, if I showed you, let me open up another project here. And it is the sample project I used in that video. Okay, so if I go to my projects, let's go to, where is it? Draw on videos and sample project. We'll open that up. I'm going to move this one up off the screen. Okay, this is the sample project that I used in filming that video. Okay, so now you can kind of see what I did. Draw on the video. That is this right here, and it's basically an image where I removed the color. Okay, if I did not remove the color, it was on gray. You see that? So I used the remove a color effect under visual effects. It's right here. No, sorry, it's not. That's background removal. You scroll down and it is here, remove a color. Okay, you drop that on here, you get this effect, and then up in the properties under remove a color, you can select the color. So I chose that gray color. Okay, and then you can play with the tolerance, right, to make it stand out as best as you can, the softness and so on. So that's how I did that. But is anybody interested in knowing actually how to do it live? Because I can do that, and I can actually show you that today. It is not a Camtasia thing, though, okay? It's because when you're live streaming, you're using live stream software. So whether that's OBS or Ecamm Live, which is what I'm using, or StreamYard or Restream. There's a couple other ones. Those are the popular ones. I've used Ecamm is what I like right now. That's my favorite, but it's paid. OBS is another good one. That's a free one. Sometimes I find it a bit clunky, and some things don't quite work the way I was hoping they would. You need a little bit more technical know-how, I'd say, to make sure you get that right. But for some, it's not that difficult at all. And then you have StreamYard, which is also good. And I used that last year and before that when I went live. So a lot of my earlier live streams, I use StreamYard. And what that is online software where you like StreamYard is browser based. You connect to it, and then they upload your stream to the internet, basically. So it's a service, right? Ecamm is software you download onto your Mac, onto your computer. It is only available for Mac. For those of you who use PC, vMix is one you could try if you wanted to. It's also paid, but it has a few more things you can do, and it works a little bit more smoothly than OBS. But if you just want to dabble in it and just kind of get your feet wet and see if live streaming is something you want to try to do, I recommend starting with OBS. And if you can get to a point where you're using OBS and everything is working okay, and maybe at that point you want some more functionality, you want a few more nice things. For instance, me being able to display chat messages like that, okay? That is built into Ecamm. That is not available in OBS, although there are people who have made scripts that will allow you to do it. But again, if anybody watched any of my live streams, I'm going to say about 2 months ago, I was doing that with OBS and those scripts, and there was a couple weeks in a row there where I couldn't get it to work. So it was free, so why not, right? But this is very cool, and it's live. I mean, I can resize these as I go, like this, if I need to, move them around. And I don't know if you noticed, but before I went live on the music screen with the ocean and all that, there was the first message that came in. I popped it up on that screen just to see if that's something I might want to do. So like in the future, these live streams, I may change what that opening scene looks like. I may have it be a live scene. Like maybe in the 2-minute countdown, maybe I have this camera on, but everything's muted. So you can kind of see me here, excuse me, but I haven't really started yet. And then I can pop messages up. That's something else, I could do. And it's probably also good to keep live streams fresh and changing all the time, I suppose. I can just X that out. Expect some new things perhaps in the live streams to come, maybe for next week. To do that live, so let me finish that thought. You see what just happened there? That probably gave it away. Let me take that off. Okay, so I have with me here an iPad. Okay, it is a very old iPad, same iPad I used when I made that video. Gotta turn it on here. It keeps going to sleep. Okay, with Camtasia, if you watch that video, you may remember, or even if you didn't, in Camtasia, you can remove any color you want from any image, okay, with the Remove a Color tool. Typically, when people are doing live streams, or they want to remove a background, they may set up a green screen behind them, and then key out the green screen. They can remove the green screen. You can do that in Camtasia. You just select the color green that you want to remove with the eyedropper and remove it. Now with Ecamm Live, which I'm using now, so I'm demonstrating to you how to do this live through Ecamm Live. With Ecamm Live, I don't have the ability to remove any color. I have to choose green or blue, okay? Which are the two most common colors to use when doing a green screen, you know, background removal or something, like in Hollywood when they're making movies, or even just people live streaming. If you're wearing green, well then maybe green's not the color to pick for your background. You may want it, that's when you may need to pick blue, right? You can't wear green and blue if you're going to use Ecamm to do this. So what I did is I chose green, and I've set up a green screen here on the iPad, okay? And now if I turn the draw on, see that? Live. Okay, let me just remove that. So that's how that works. So in Ecamm, I don't know, can you guys see that? If I click that, can you see that highlighted? That I'm not sure if you can, but basically I overlaid this. So this is plugged into my Mac. The iPad is plugged into my Mac. There's two ways to connect it to your Mac. You can either plug it in, right, with the lightning cable, or you can like not mirror, but you can extend your screen and bring it into your computer that way. Okay, I can't do that because the Mac that I have will only allow me to have 3 external monitors, which should be plenty, but I already have 3 set up, so I can't add another one. So instead I plug it in, and now Ecamm can recognize it as a camera source, okay? So I set it up as a camera source, and then I cropped out the edges so that only the green is showing. Oh, and I see David, David says, no, you can't see that. Well, you know what? I can show you guys like this. Not sure that's going to work if I do that. Show that to you. You can see my Ecamm now, and when I have the no, it's not going to work. Anyways, I've basically I've got the screen superimposed on an area about that big, if you can see where I'm moving my mouse. Okay, so it's not taking up the entire screen. I didn't want to do it that way because when I have this overlay up, right, I don't want anything that I draw here to go on the overlay. So again, if I hold this up, no, you can see it over here. My cord's not long enough. If I hold this up here, if I draw in the top corners, or all the corners like this, that's a good way to test. See that? So I've drawn it in the 4 corners, which you can, that's hard to see. I don't have that on Zoom. But I think you get the idea. I've drawn the 4 corners, and you can see in the replay where those 4 corners are. So I've set it up so that anything that I draw in here, right, will not go over where I've got the topics. That makes sense. So anyways, yeah, that's how you do it. You plug it in. Now again, it's for a Mac, but if you're using OBS, I think OBS you can remove any color, but if not, just set your drawing area to green and then key out the green color in OBS. I know you can do that. In fact, I know you can remove any color. I've done that. And then you can do the same thing, right? You plug your tablet into your, so I'm on a Mac, I have an iPad. I can plug that into my computer. If you're on a PC, you can plug your, well, you can probably plug an iPad into a PC, or if you have a Samsung tablet, any kind of tablet, plug it in, and it can be recognized as a camera source or a video source. And then you set up your scene, and then you can do it live, okay? Which is handy for presentations, right? But for my purposes, usually when I'm making a video, I don't need to do that. Like if I'm going to make a video in Camtasia, then I will just I'll just record it on the iPad, right? I set up the recording in the iPad. I start recording my screen. I capture myself doing what I'm doing, and then so when I made this video, right? I pressed record on this camera, record on the camera I had here looking down at the iPad, record on the iPad, and then record my audio, right? And I believe I also recorded my screen at the same time. So I had all kinds of things recording at once. And then once I was finished, then I just bring everything into my computer, organize things. I typically create a folder called recordings, right? And I put everything in that within my project file. And then I bring them all into Camtasia and I sync everything up. Syncing everything up is easy when your recording has audio. So all of my cameras had audio. The mic obviously had audio. The iPad did not have audio. So what I did was, I'm trying to think now. I think I had the mic such that it could pick up the strokes, like my hand strokes of what I was writing, and I was able to. So sometimes you have to use visual cues to sync something like that up that does not have audio. Okay. So yeah, and if you're recording with a camera that doesn't have audio, maybe it's an old phone or something like that, and it's only recording video and not audio, then a good thing to do is make an audible and visual cue, like usually clapping makes the noise, but also you can see the act of clapping. Okay, so oftentimes you'll see people do that before they record, just so that that's an easy way to sync things up afterwards in the editing process. So does that make sense? Anybody interested in any of that stuff, or am I just talking for myself? Let me just check the chat here. Okay, I saw that one already. David Bergenson says, OBS can be very daunting for people. It can be incredibly powerful, but also very buggy. Yeah, I notice they often have updates, and I've ignored the last several updates. I still use OBS to record my screen a lot. When I'm making videos on Camtasia, not in Camtasia, but like on the subject of Camtasia, I'm usually recording my screen with OBS, right? All the videos I made this week, I recorded my screen with OBS. And the reason is because I'm demonstrating how to use Camtasia, and the recorder is right in Camtasia. So I know on a Mac, and maybe for those who don't know, this might be some news to you, but on a Mac, you can have more than one instance of Camtasia open at one time. Let me put that a better way. You can have more than one project file open on a Mac at the same time, okay? You can't do that on Windows. The last I checked, you couldn't anyways. Maybe they've changed that. But so here I'm sharing my screen. This is a project called Sample Project Draw, right? Let's just make that a little bit smaller. And here is another project. Okay, this is the project file for the actual video that I made. Okay, Draw on Videos 2, right? And they're both interchangeable. So I can click back and forth to each one of them. What's also cool, actually this is really cool. Not sure it's cool enough that that it'll entice any of you to sell your PCs and go buy a Mac, but I think this is super handy. Like let's say there's something in this file that I want, I don't know, I'll just pick anything random like this here. I'll take that little video. I can highlight it like that, Control C to copy it, jump over to the next project file, put my playhead here, Control V, paste. Okay, see what that did? It pasted, now I'll explain that, but it pasted a clip from one project file to another. Okay, so that, I think that's super handy. The reason it's so huge on this one is because I copied from a 4K video file and pasted into a 1080p project file. Okay, that's why that, so I would have to resize that and whatnot. So, but let me Control Z to back that up. I don't want to mess up these files too badly. They are a record of what I did. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of neat. I don't believe you can do that with Windows. So, but because I can do this with Mac, I probably can use one of these copies to set up my recording and then record another instance of Camtasia. It's just that in my mind, I think that's just that might stress out my computer and things may crash. So I'm just using OBS because the videos on Camtasia that I've been making, I'm not taking the time to make them all as visually appealing as I can. What I mean by that is I may teach you guys in my videos how to use callouts to highlight things, how to use zoom and pan and you know, draw rectangles around buttons before they're clicked and make the mouse cursor larger and all these things you can do in Camtasia. I'm not necessarily doing that, or not much of that, in my videos on YouTube, mainly for speed, so that I can get my videos out as quickly as I can, because all those things take time. But if I'm making a video for a client through Fiverr, or like if you're making a video for your company that you work for, or your business, if you're creating training videos and it's important that they look really good, then you spend the time on those things, right? And so when you use something like OBS or even Ecamm to record your screen, you lose some of the functionality that you can do in Camtasia if you record with Camtasia, if that makes sense. So if you use the Camtasia recorder, for instance, the cursor is captured separately, all right? So Camtasia captures your screen and it captures the cursor movements, but the cursor movements aren't baked into the screen. That's why you're able to then go into Camtasia and edit the cursor. You can change the size of it. You can actually change the path. You can delete it altogether and put in a new cursor if you want and tell it exactly where to go and add effects to the cursor and all that. If I record, or since I record my screen with OBS, I don't have the ability to do that. When you record with OBS, it's capturing your screen as it is. Everything that happens on your screen and the audio that's going on in your system, your computer or Mac or whatever, is getting captured and everything is baked in. Well, the audio you can change. You can get rid of audio quite easily in Camtasia, any video editing software. But the cursor you can't get rid of or change. Okay, so, but I'm not too concerned about that. Unless I'm doing a video on, you know, how to mess around with your cursor, right? So, or unless I'm making videos for clients. So does that make sense? Kind of a long rambling, I don't know how we got on this. I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but I thought it was kind of cool. Let me see here. What do we got in the comments? Balanced Ballo says, if I have an MP3 audio file and want to use only one JPEG file to make a video, I request you to suggest me some 100 tips? Oh, 1 or 2 tips. Okay. So you have an MP3 audio file and want to use only one JPEG file to make a video. Some tips to make that video. No problem. Let me share my screen. Here, let me get these projects out. In fact, I'll close that one. And I'm not going to save. This is a smaller one. We'll leave that open. I'll put it up there. And let's go File, New Project. This won't take very long. Here we go. Here's a new project. So You have an MP3 file. Let's go. What's the fastest way I can do this? I'll go to My Projects. Actually, I'll go back up to here. I'm just going to copy that and paste that in here. So that is the video. That is a video. It's an unedited video. Okay. So let me. Oh, it's a group. So right click. Let's ungroup this. Okay. What do we have going on? We've got audio there and we've got video there. Let me delete this video. Okay. Now we just have audio. Audio as well. So I'm recording through my. Okay, can you guys hear that? My mic here, and I've got that recorded. I think you can. So there we go. We've got audio. Let's pretend that's your MP3 file. Okay. It was actually saved as a WAV file, W-A-V, but you can bring MP3 files, I believe, into Camtasia as well. So let's assume that is the audio file. So one application, and this may be what you're wanting to do. You have an MP3 file. Let's say it's a song or piece of music, right? And you want to put an album cover, say, on that, or you want to make a music video that doesn't really have any motion to it. It's just an image. Then all you do is you get an image, so a JPEG, right? Let's just go into media here. Footage callouts. What do they have in here? Footage. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in the Camtasia assets here, but do they have just photos? Oh, what's going on? Oh no, premium, and I don't have a subscription to that, so that won't work. Oh wait, now. Planet Earth. Is that a video though? That might be a video. Through my computer. Yeah, it's a video. Well, if it were, so my project assets, website, files. Okay, well that's fine. I can use that one. So here is a background. I'm going to bring that in. That is an image. Okay, that is an image right there. See? So I've got an image in here, and all you have to do is click and stretch it out. So now you've got an image. Record on your audio. On the image, and you've got audio down here, which can be an MP3 or a WAV file, and that's what you have to do. In terms of tips. The only thing I can think of is if you want to decide what size video you want before you edit it. So I'm talking about the canvas size. So is this going to be a video you're uploading to YouTube? Do you want it to be 16 by 9? So that would be 1920 by 1080 for a 1080p size. You would want to set your canvas up to that size, right? But maybe you have an album cover that is smaller, right? So maybe let me crop this. Maybe your image is, you know, like this, and let's say the background is white. Okay, and this is the image you have. Okay, and this is the background. Then all I would do, I would typically change the background color to match what this is. So maybe you want this gray. So you just come to Project Settings. If you want to change the color, grab the eyedropper like this and pick whatever color you want as the background, like that, okay? And then you can put lyrics if it's a music video, right? You can put lyrics down here or things like that, okay? Does that help? Are those the types of tips that you're looking for? And then you can export this as a video, as an MP4 video, okay? I'm pretty sure MP3 files you can bring in. The difference between MP3 and WAV files are larger, still nowhere near as large as a video file, a lot smaller than a video file, but larger in terms of audio. But WAV retains a lot of the information. MP3 is almost like a like if you've ever made, if edits were made to the audio, then it's compressed. Okay, MP3 files are more compressed. WAV files are more the true audio files that contain more information. That's my understanding. That's the way I think about it. I'm not an audio engineer, so I may have misspoke a little bit, but that's kind of the way I think about it. Maybe that helps. Oh, and Steve just confirmed you can bring in MP3 files. I thought you can. It's just been a long time since I've done that. I thought I did, though. I'm just in the habit now of whenever I record my voiceover, I record it in Audition. I always save it as a WAV file. And when I'm downloading background music from Motion Array or Epidemic Sound, I download the WAV file. Yes, Steve says, WAV files are lossless. That's the term I was looking for. I've heard that before. MP3 files are compressed. Very good. But sometimes MP3 is all you have. And I think, I mean, if I think back to before iPhone days, when people had MP3 players and not, iPhones that played music through iTunes and all that, I got an MP3 player that I could clip on to my, my shorts or whatever, and then I had headphones coming out of that, and that was my music. And I thought that was cool. That was a lot smaller than a Sony Walkman back in the day. And those were MP3 files, and they probably used MP3 then because they were much smaller. Hard drives were a lot smaller, 20 years ago. And so if you used MP3 files, you could get much more music on the same size hard drive versus using WAV files. So maybe WAV files weren't even available then. I don't even know. So I don't know everything, believe it or not. Okay, so where are we? So hopefully that helps. I gave you some tips. And again, anybody have any other questions or something you want me to go through, just let me know, and I'll go through that. Let me throw my, see that? I made a little highlighter here that I could kind of drag over. So latest videos, draw on top of videos, we kind of went over that. Camtasia 2024 update. Kind of already talked about that. But just for those of you who may have just joined, Camtasia 2024 is still scheduled to be released next Tuesday, June 4th. The morning of June 4th. We even asked what time, like what time can we share this information? And I think they said by about 10 a.m. Eastern time, it should be good to go. Unless they run into unforeseen issues, right? But as of now, they're still on schedule to release it next Tuesday morning. And I will go live not Tuesday morning because I want to keep the same schedule. For those of you who are used to dropping in at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to keep the same time. So plus, if you're on the maintenance plan with TechSmith, with Camtasia, and can already download, maybe you can already get a free copy of Camtasia 2024. You may want to download it and take it for a spin before we go live on next Tuesday. So you'll have time to do that. You should have time to do that. I don't want to. I have to qualify everything I say there because I'm not in control of that. And the way I understand it is even the higher ups at TechSmith aren't in control. It's kind of up to the developers if they can get everything done in time. So that's I think that's the way it goes when developing software. But again, I have seen. I was given a demonstration of the new things that they've added, and I love it. I love a lot of the things, and also I can't say too much. No, let's leave it at that. I love all of the new things that you can do, and there are several things that I'm going to use. Okay, and we'll leave it at that until next Tuesday. So Camtasia 2024 is going to be fun. So yeah, I'll go live. So again, I usually go live for always more than an hour, usually 2 hours. But if we end up staying longer next week, I'll do that. It's really as long as you guys want me to stay, I'll stay and go through things. Okay, so let me just quickly check the chat here. Uh, Diego, I think I got this right. Diego Octor. Diego. Hi, Rob. Glad to see you again. Do you know? Glad to see you too. Welcome back. Do you know if in future updates is it thought to change the way to zoom in a desktop video capture in Mac as it is possible to do it in Windows? Thanks. I'm not 100% sure I know what you mean. Zoom thought to change the way you zoom. So zooming in. So I've used the Windows version and the Mac version. I've been using the Mac version for over a year now, but I do sometimes go back to the PC version because there are some differences, as you're alluding to here. One of the big differences is in the way it handles subtitles. But the way you zoom in a desktop video, so the way you zoom in is different. I do know, so I'm not sure. Well, if I know, yeah, even if that was something that was going to change in 2024, I'm not allowed to say. But honestly, I don't really know. I do know that there used to be two ways to do zoom and pan in Camtasia. One was like you had two different tabs in the animation tab, right? Just jump over here. If we come over to animations, right? There used to be two tabs up here, but there is not. Now, maybe there used to be two tabs because that's only in the Windows version. There's two tabs. One just kind of allows you to drag, like resize things up here as opposed to going to the canvas. Is that what you're referring to? If so, and if that is available in Windows and not in Mac, it's funny because even in Windows, I never used that method. So once again, not saying that you shouldn't use that method, it's just that I never did. I always, like 99% of the time, if I'm going to animate something, I grab this custom animation right here, and then I make my changes in the canvas and on the timeline for the timing. That's what I always do, and that's why I have it starred here. It's added to my favorites. When you star something like that, it adds it to your favorites up here. See that? Whether it's animations, there it is here, custom animation, restore, remove a color I use a lot, drop shadow, the two fades I use the most, and the annotations I use the most. Okay. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, so no, I'm not familiar with if they're going to add that again. Diego, he says that's it. Diego says that's it. Yes. And then David says there's a zoom and pan in Windows Camtasia 2023. Okay, so that's why I haven't seen it in a while, because I stopped using Windows version and I'm using the Mac version. But yeah, I don't know if that helps you, but I never used that anyways when I used Camtasia in Windows. I would have to get back into it to try it to see if I would find any benefits to using it. If that's the way you're used to doing it, then yeah, I can see why that would have been a problem if you've switched from PC to Mac, right? If you get used to doing it a certain way and now you're using it on a Mac and you can't do it that way anymore, I can see that being frustrating. But I will say that if it is not something that is going to be addressed in the 2024 update, they are very, at TechSmith, Camtasia, they want to hear from their customers. Okay, so if you are a user, a customer of Camtasia, send it in as a feature request. It may not be that difficult to add, and that's something I got from them too in the meeting I had with them last week. They basically said, like, you know, maybe some of these things, these new features they're adding, and even some older features, if there's anything that we would like to see done differently or something added, or if something you can do in the Windows version that you can't do in the Mac or vice versa, maybe they haven't even thought about it, right? and it may not be a hard thing for them to add. And they won't necessarily wait until Camtasia 2025 to come out with new updates like that. Okay, so they're totally willing to add things and that's what they do. In fact, this past year they had a major update in October when they added Camtasia Rev. Right, that's the way you can kind of automatically have a layout chosen for you after you do a recording. Half of your editing is done in terms of the layout, right? Circle mask for your video, and then have corner rounding and drop shadows and all that. You can have that kind of applied automatically before you get into the editing yourself. That was a major release that they came out with in October. But even over and above that, they're often coming out with bug fixes, obviously, but also little tiny feature requests, additions, like every few weeks almost, right? Maybe, I don't know if it's a few weeks, but whenever necessary, let's put it that way, they'll update things. So by all means, I suggest you ask them, and maybe wait. I know they're really busy right now, so maybe wait until 2024 comes out, and once you get into it and you can see whether it has it or not, and if not, then their ears will be open to any suggestions. I guarantee you that. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Diego says, don't worry, I think it's much easier in Windows. Thanks. Okay, very good. Yeah, I'll have to, I've got a laptop, a PC laptop. Not very powerful. It's an old i5, 16 gigs of RAM, I think, but it runs Camtasia. I'll check it out. I'll check that out, that way to do things, because maybe I should make a video on the fact that you can do that in the Windows version and not Mac. Okay, Uterp Lab says, as a European, I don't really understand their purpose, but they are fun. What do you think? Oh, sorry, I missed one. Oh, I missed a couple. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go back here. Sorry, I'll get right back to you, Uterp Lab. Nora Samo says, sir, from 2K webcam to 1080p face cam video setting for recording. 2K webcam to 1080p face cam video setting for recording. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. So you have a 2K webcam, and you want to put it in a 1080p video, I'm assuming. If you capture, so is Camtasia picking up your webcam okay? So that's a good place to start. If Camtasia is recognizing your webcam, whether it's 2K or whatever it is, and then you do your record, so make sure that you've selected to record your webcam as well as your screen and your whatever else you wanted to record. And then when you stop the recording and the editor opens up, you have the ability to resize things. Okay, so at that point, you can make sure that your project canvas size is set to 1080p. Okay, so for 1080p, that's 1920 by 1080, and it is a choice, I believe. It would be a choice. Let me see if I can kind of share this. Let's say I was going to start a recording here. Is this? Yeah, here we go. So I click on record. Okay, stuff disappeared, but that's all right. So you would click on, so you'd select your monitor here, right? And you can select, the frames per second or whatever. You can select the area. So if you want your area that you're recording to be 1080, you would select this one here. Okay. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I probably can't show you everything, or I might mess up my live stream here. So, but yeah, you select the area you want to record here. Then you turn this on and select which camera you want to record. Okay, so you would pick whatever camera here that you want to record with. Okay, and then you can set your dimensions here. Okay. Now, depending on your camera, you may not have as many choices, right? Like, let's say if I chose that camera, that's the main camera that I'm using here. I'm not given a choice. No, not given a choice, but that's okay. And then your audio. Choose your audio device and whether or not you want to record system audio. I'm not going to click record here because I know that might mess things up here. I'm going to X out of this. But then when your recording lands here in your editing timeline in your project, you can resize the windows. So your video of your webcam is probably going to be like down here in the corner, something like that. You can click and drag the corners of the video. Like let's just use this as an example. I'll resize this like this. Let's say that is your video. Let's just say that was your video. You can simply resize it like this. Size it up. Maybe center it or whatever. You don't have to keep it down in the corner like this, which is how Camtasia will present it to you after you've done the recording. And same with your screen. Okay, you can also resize, like, so I only have one thing here, but let's say I also had a screen back here. I could resize that as well. Put the camera on one side, put the screen on the other, right? Something like this. Let's say this is my screen recording and this is my camera recording, right? I can do something like that. And then maybe even, let's go into visual effects. Is that what I want? No, media in here. Where am I going? No, maybe it was visual effects. Sometimes I forget where things are. Just clicking around. Filters, that's where the LUTs are. I just got to stop and think for a second. So media, right here. Oh, I've got to back up. I'm sorry. There we go. So this is what I was looking for, a dynamic background. Let's throw a dynamic background back in there, behind it, right? And maybe this doesn't fill the whole screen, right? And now you have a layout with a dynamic background. See? So yeah, you can resize. Doesn't matter whether it's if it's a 2K webcam, but you're recording a 1080p video. You can resize everything to fit within that 1080p. Okay, does that help? Now, if your webcam is a lower resolution, let's say it's a 720p camera, a 2K should be fine. That's 2K is more than 1080p, right? 1080p is 1K. But if you had a lower resolution, you may not want to stretch that out to the full size of a 1080p monitor or a project or a 4K project, because then you'll get pixelation and the video will get a little grainy. You can always size down, but when you size up, you lose quality, right? Camtasia can't just create new pixels. They weren't captured, so if you stretch it out, it's just going to look not so good, if that makes sense. Okay, so I hope that helped. And then here, so back to Uterp Lab says, I'd like to know what you think of the new short videos that Camtasia has put out. Have you seen them? They really look like they were created by real TechSmith employees. And then the part 2 was, as a European, I don't really understand their purpose, but they are fun. What do you think? Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and they do look fun, and I believe they are TechSmith employees that are doing that. So they're probably in the marketing department, and they're putting together these fun short videos as the younger generation can. So I'm in my 50s, so I'm quite often leaning on my early 20s kids. I have a son and a daughter that are in their early 20s, who, obviously they have phones. They're very familiar with TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, and the reels, right? The short form content. And I get advice from them all the time on, Dad, make sure your videos are shorter. You got to make them shorter. I'm talking about when I made reels and shorts, right? I've made a few of those. It's crazy because the younger generation, and no disrespect if there's any younger generation in here watching the live stream, but what's the word? The easily distracted, hard to keep their attention. So, and Liam even admits, my son, he says, if I'm watching a TikTok, if they don't have my attention in the first, say, 3 seconds, whoop, they're gone. He's gone on to the next one. So that's why they're fast and fun. And then what you typically do when you make these shorts or reels is you'll put music to them, right? Now, you can't use commercial music with shorts or Instagram reels because you'll get copyright strikes, right? But on TikTok, you can. Because they have a deal with music producers. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's why on TikTok you'll often see more than one video, like multiple videos using the same music, and they'll just put a new video to popular music. Or maybe there was a funny joke video and the audio was funny, they'll put their own video to it. And that's what at TechSmith they've been doing, which is kind of fun. If I go, well, there you go, right there. Boom. That's what you're talking about right there. So, got to turn the volume on.
What can I say?
Okay.
Some days I am just on fire. What can I say?
Okay, so kind of a funny video, but if you click on here, so this is Instagram that I'm showing you. They've made all kinds of them, right? So
don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. Don't ask me how I did it.
Let me close that. That are just having fun and making some current videos. So probably I would say their goal there is to try to reach a younger audience, which is probably not a bad idea. The typical user of Camtasia, my guess is it's a lot of employees, educators, I think a lot of teachers, and people who educate within their own companies use Camtasia. It integrates well with PowerPoint. A lot of people turn PowerPoint presentations into videos. So I think that I could be wrong, and if anybody at TechSmith is listening to this and wants to correct me, go right ahead. I'd love to know, but I feel like that's probably the majority of their customer base, and so perhaps maybe they're reaching out to the younger crowd, and I don't blame them, because I think, and I'm working on a video on this, I think Camtasia is very well suited to be a good video editing software for people just starting out. Okay, even if you're not even making videos sharing your screen, or not sharing your screen, but like screen captures, right? You're not doing screen captures, you're just doing videos, like those ones, like the ones we just watched there, those reels. They probably made them in Camtasia, I would think, because you can do that. There's no screen captures to those videos. It was like a 10-second video it was a video with some music, right? And some I think there was some text that popped up too. Very easy to do. So that's what was that there? Yeah, so totally see them reaching out to the younger generation, because if they start using Camtasia to make their videos, then yeah, they could grow their customer base. Okay, moving right along. Oh, well, so you said you don't really understand their purpose, but they are fun. What do you think? Yeah, so I think I answered that. That is the purpose, just to try to connect, I think. And if you use the same, so in the videos that I've seen them make, there's 2 or 3 or 4 of the same faces you see all the time. So part of that is branding too. So these are faces they're trying to kind of put to Camtasia, faces of Camtasia, say. So if they keep putting content out like that, then over time we will get to know, or whoever's watching their videos will get to know those faces and say, oh, Camtasia, very good. Very similar to the way, like, I don't work for Camtasia, but I'm making a lot of videos and live streams about Camtasia. So many of you may see my face and say, oh, Camtasia, help, right? Camtasia support or whatever. I'm not support for Camtasia, but I feel like I can help you with it, right? So that's personal branding. That's branding on a personal level. And I made the conscious decision when I set up this YouTube channel that I didn't want it to be a faceless channel. You can do that very easily, but I feel like if you're comfortable enough to put your face out there, then that is a really good way to help brand whatever you're talking about. So in my case, I'm talking about Camtasia. So, the more videos I have out there, the more they get watched, then the more familiar my face becomes to people looking for Camtasia videos, if that makes sense. So that's probably what they're doing as well. And younger people will probably connect better with younger people in videos. So they'll, might increase their chances of connecting with the younger generation. So those are my thoughts on that. Hopefully that helped. Hello, Dominic. How are you? Thanks for being patient. Got a few more chats to go through here, but I will get to them all. So if you've asked a question and I haven't answered you yet, I will get to your question. Sorry, sometimes I tend to be long-winded in my answers. But Dominic says, are there any innovations today that you are allowed or able to show? Unfortunately, no. I'm not allowed to. All I can say is I'm excited for them to release them next week. I've seen them. There are a lot. I can tell you I've created my overlay for next week's live stream already, and I have 15 points that I'm going to go through. So that 15 things that are new or partially new, either brand new or partially new, that I'm going to go over with you guys next week. So that's about all I can say. I don't want to get in trouble with TechSmith. So that's it. So wait, tune in next week, same time, same place. And Moin from Germany. Hello, how you doing? Good. Welcome. That's a name I don't recognize, so I think you're new here, and if so, welcome, and I hope to see you again. Adnan Abdul Rahman says, hey Abdul, or Adnan, how you doing? Hey Adnan, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Can you teach the subtitles? Yes. I actually have that. I've got that on my list to go over. The thing is with subtitles is I, in fact, so I'm a freelancer on Fiverr, okay? And I've set up gigs to subtitle videos. I've started that 4 or 5 years ago. And I've got a lot of business through Fiverr doing that. Now, and I used Camtasia to do most of that, the subtitles. And I used Camtasia on a Windows machine, on a PC, Windows PC. Last year, when I switched over to using a Mac, Camtasia for Mac handles subtitles differently than Camtasia for Windows. So I don't feel I'm as knowledgeable enough about subtitles on a Mac enough right now to teach you about them. I do intend to make a video on it and how to do everything, but it probably makes more sense for me to wait until the 2024 version comes out. That's all I'm saying about that. So, but yeah, so there's two different ways to handle subtitles. Sorry. The Windows version and the PC version handle subtitles two different ways. And I'm going to make a video on that. So sorry I can't really go into any more details than that right now, because I have to brush up on how to do it on a Mac a little bit better myself first. So sorry about that, but I have made a note about that, okay? Dave McAllendon. Dave McAllendon. How you doing, Dave? Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. What would you most like to see changed? Actually, this isn't a specific thing to the tools within Camtasia, but for myself, kind of goes back to what I was just talking about with the subtitles. I'd like it if the two versions, Mac and PC, were identical, right? Because there are some differences. When I make a video and tell you guys how to do something on a Mac version, I kind of have to double check on the PC to see, oh, is it done differently on the PC? Because now most things are done the same, but there are a few things here and there that are different on the PC version versus the Mac. So I do kind of wish they were more the same. And I think in time, they are getting closer and closer to being the same. And I want to say that if you go back several years, they were a lot more different, and they may have actually even been totally different. I think they were like just completely different pieces of software, and it's taken them some time to I mean, they're upgrading them both and getting them both to be as similar as they can. And that's probably the alternative. If they didn't do it that way, they probably would have had to scratch one of them and then kind of redo it all together. And then, the customer base they had with that version they scratched, they'd probably lose a lot of customers because, oh, what are you doing? Like, everything is different now, right? So that's just me guessing. I don't know if that's why, but that kind of logically makes sense as to that's why they're still a little bit different. So I'd love to see them be identical someday, and I'll believe they'll get there. That's. I can't get into too many details about what's in the 2024 version. Nor Samu says, my problem is in 2K resolution. My old laptop video lag. That's why I want during recording. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the 2K, but you're getting lagging issues. Okay, if that is a problem, what I might suggest, is it possible, well, no, you have a 2K webcam. It's not an external camera, I guess. If it were an external camera, like what I have a camera that, like here, you can see, that is the camera up here that I use in my videos to capture my face, right? And because of that, I don't use Camtasia to capture that. I'm actually using an SD card, or not right now. Right now I'm using it to live stream, but when I'm making a video, I use the SD card that's in it and I record right on the camera. And then I take that recording, put it into Camtasia, okay? And same with the audio file, I put that into Camtasia and I build it in there when I make my own videos, okay? When I make videos for clients, I use the Camtasia recorder, but I don't put my face in the videos that I make for my clients, so I don't ever need to use my camera. So, but if you're making videos for yourself and you are putting your face in your videos, if you have a way, if that's all I can think of really, like to solve a video lagging issue. Like I had issues when I had my camera set to 4K and trying to plug it into Camtasia. I was getting issues with lag as well. And the way I solved that is I just recorded externally and then I brought it into Camtasia after. I know it adds another step, But that if you have that ability, that would be a suggestion I have for you, and hopefully that helps. Uturb Lab says, thank you. Your answer is very comprehensive and also happy. I try to be happy. I also understand. I'm an old boomer, 64. It's true we live in another world, but I still believe in long videos. I do too. And I also think that there's a time and a place for the short form content. And it's typically, if what I observe from the younger crowd watching these videos, they tend to watch those more for entertainment purposes when they're killing time, or that's what they're doing for entertainment, right? Just kind of scroll through. If I had nothing to do, I may do that more too. But if I want to learn how to do something, like the YouTube videos that I make are generally to teach people how to do something in Camtasia. Well, I probably can't teach you how to use Camtasia in a 15-second video, right? I need some time. A video I made 2 weeks ago was almost an hour long. So sometimes it takes time. But I think if you're trying to learn something and you go to YouTube, for instance, to look for a video to learn how to do something, if it takes a long time to learn how to do it, to watch this video, and if you really want to learn how to do that thing, you're going to watch that video. You're going to watch it all, or most of it. Maybe you can skip around if there's, proper chapters and all that stuff. But yeah, so it depends on what the video is for. If the video is for short form entertainment, then YouTube Shorts, right? Instagram Reels, TikToks are perfect. But if the purpose of your videos is to teach something, like how to do something in software, like what I do, or if it's a presentation, like a PowerPoint presentation that might just be slides with text sliding in and sliding out, make it look a little more dynamic. There may be a certain amount of information you need to get across in your video, so it's going to be longer. So yeah, it really depends. I like to learn stuff. I certainly prefer long form videos, even for entertainment purposes for myself. Like if I want to learn something about whatever, I'll watch a long form video. I may not watch all of it, but yeah, so I agree with you. I'm not as old as you are though. Not in my 60s yet. Oh, that's great. David says, are you using the Elgato teleprompter? No, I am not. I'm very interested in it. It looks awesome. The Elgato teleprompter has a screen built right into it, like a screen to like as the horizontal part. So what I have, I don't know if you can tell, I just have a tray here, and I normally put my phone up there. I can't put my phone there because I'm using my phone camera to show you this right now. That's my phone. So, but I would lay my phone here, okay? And then I use software called Prompt Smart, right? And what it does is it reflects up to this mirror and then out to me, and I can read it. So since there's a couple, there's a, I have to flip it so that the text is inverted and I can actually read it. Yeah, then that's. Oh, and so this teleprompter hangs off my lens. This is my my camera lens, and hanging off of the lens is this thing here. I don't know if I can probably set that down, take this off and show you. Just slides up like that. Okay, so that is the lens, and this is a little ring that you kind of screw onto the end of the lens. That it's an adapter so that the teleprompter can slide over that. And there is what the teleprompter looks like. Okay, let me put that away. It's probably easier for me to show you this way now. So yeah, so that slides over like this, that ring, and then the other side is just a mirror. It's just a mirror like that, and then it allows me, and that's what it is right there, the Des view or Bez view, Des view. T2, I believe is what it was called. I've had it for a year and a half, about a year and a half. Not very. It's quite a bit cheaper than the Elgato teleprompter, but the difference is the Elgato teleprompter. This flat part here, you don't have to put your phone there because it's a screen, and it can. I believe it works like that. That is like another monitor in your computer setup, so you just put the text on the monitor, and you would use prompting like teleprompter software on your computer to display on that, if that makes sense. So no, I'm not using that, but it does look interesting. Oh, and David says yeah, I thought that was the Elgato teleprompter, and it is another monitor. Yeah, so I don't think I could use it anyways then, because I have too many monitors. Yeah, I've got three. I've got my laptop, and then the MacBook, and then 3 external monitors. I think that's all the M1 Max chip can handle in the MacBook Pro. But if some of you have an extra, like if your computer can handle another monitor, let me just show you. Elgato teleprompter. I share my screen here. And if you get don't worry about the prices that you see here, because I'm on Amazon.ca, so these are Canadian prices. Where is it? I don't even see it here. No, I don't see the Elgato one. Maybe they are sold out. Elgato teleprompter, if I just Google it, that is what it looks like right there. And see, that is a screen built right into the teleprompter. Okay. And it's a little pricier. I think the one that I had was just a little over $100, I think, 150 maybe. Yeah. So no, there you go. Yeah, I guess it kind of looks like it's about the same size, I think. Okay, so now where are we, and where do we go next? Let me just get a little disorganized up here. All right, so there was a couple of things. If I just bring this down to timeline basics, there's a couple of things. So yeah, the 3 videos that I made last week, we're still on that. So draw on top of the videos. I went through that last Wednesday. Camtasia 2024 update. I had that written in latest videos because Friday's video was basically an ad. It was me advertising the fact that I'm going to have a live stream to release or to go through and demonstrate the new Camtasia 2024 on launch day. So that's all that video was. Then the video yesterday was on the timeline, and I have timeline basics written down. There was a couple things, and this happens when I make a video. Sometimes if it's getting too long, there were a couple other things I would have liked to have shown you in yesterday's video, but it was already, I think it was 28 minutes, I think. It was a long one. And I felt I had gone far enough. But again, that's what these live streams can be for. I can kind of top up what was in that video. If I missed something, I can show you here. So let me share my screen. I'll get that out of here. And I do not need to save that. And let me go bring up yesterday's video. Where are we? Timeline tracks, sample project, timeline tracks. Okay. So and for every video that I make for YouTube, I have 2 project files. Whoops, that's a little glitchy fit there. The project file for the video that I made, and then the sample project file, which is what I was demonstrating in, if that makes sense. So this is the project sample file for the video that I made yesterday. And actually So it's also, this part here is also the intro to yesterday's video. So what I did is I recorded the intro, right, first, before I even made the video. And then I stopped recording. Then I edited it a little bit. And then I used that, I saved it as this sample file, and I used that in my video, the rest of the video. So seemed to make sense. And in fact, the video that is already uploaded to YouTube and will get posted tomorrow morning, I did the same thing. So different topic, but I did the same thing. I used the intro as the sample file. So what I wanted to show you, I never showed you. So I got to this point in the video where I believe I was talking about copy and paste versus duplicating. If you duplicate something, so let me just delete that. So if I took this here, that is something that I copied from there. If I wanted to, so Control D or Command D on a Mac will duplicate whatever you have highlighted in your video. So in this case, it's a logo file here. It's right here. Why can't, oh, it's in a group. Let me turn off canvas snapping. Okay. Anyway, so that's what that is. It has a behavior built into it as well. That's how I got it to move like that. But if I go Control D, like that, an identical copy gets copied and pasted directly above it. Okay? Doesn't matter where the playhead is. But if I go Control C, Control V, copy paste, now it does matter where. So if I scroll back up, that's where I was. The copy was pasted down at the bottom in track number 1, and it starts at where the playhead was. That's what copy and paste does. It always pastes it in the location, like the starting point is where the playhead is. That's not the case with duplicate. And in fact, if you duplicate something here that has stuff above it, so Control D, it pushes everything up and then adds the duplicate right above it. Okay? So now what I wanted to show you, let me just delete that. I didn't Control Z to undo it, I just deleted it, and there was a reason. Let me delete this. And let me delete that and that. Okay, so now we have just the original one that was in there, like that. Okay, so something I didn't show you in yesterday's video that I probably should have. Incredibly simple, but I've done some editing here. Things are all kind of messed up a little bit. It looks like I've got an empty track here. I've got other tracks here. You notice how you can keep adding tracks, right? Like if I mean, you can add tracks. Right click here, insert track above, right? That added another one up to 14 tracks. What I wanted to show you is if you ever get overwhelmed with how many tracks you have and where is stuff, it's above the screen. Right click anywhere in here on any track or over here, doesn't matter, and just click on remove all empty tracks. If you do that, that one was gone and all the extras above are gone. So if I Control Z to back that up, that put all the tracks back in here. You can tell how many tracks there are by how much scrolling I have to do over here. Okay? And now watch what happens to this if I right click and remove all empty tracks. Okay? So there's a lot less tracks. And if I still don't want to be able to scroll, I don't want to have to scroll like that vertically to see everything, I can just change the scale over here. Okay, now it's all there, but I showed you that in the video. So that was one thing. One thing that I should have shown you in yesterday's video. The other thing, which, yeah, I don't have that in this. If I have, where is, okay. I do have it here. So you can still see what I'm doing? Yeah. So if I have, let's go. No. I'm going to open a different project file. Don't save this. because I know exactly where I can do this. I'll go to this one. Okay, a little preview of tomorrow's video. Okay, we'll fit that, make it a little smaller. This is the sample project file of tomorrow's video, and it's just the intro. Let me play it for you. In this video, I'll show you 2 easy ways to animate across multiple clips that you've split up, and when you should use one over the other. Let's get into it. Okay, cool. Okay, and then that is just, again, I put an ad in there for next week's live stream. I've been doing that this week. So that's what tomorrow's video is about, and I can very easily show you that. But what I wanted to show you here is, notice how I have another track of videos up here, videos with no audio. That's the B-roll. Okay, so if I hide that track, okay, you can see what's below here. Due to be released June 4th. I'll be hosting a virtual unboxing. Okay, so that was the video I recorded. Okay, and I edited it. You can see the cut lines there, and there. But sometimes when you make a video and you have, if you want to be able to retain people's attentions for a longer period of time, you want to break your video up. You don't just want to show them your face and only your face for a long time. People will get uninterested. No offense, but same with me. They want to see stuff. Stuff does have to happen on the screen. So one way to break things up, one way to break things up is if you're sharing your screen, right? If you're doing stuff on a screen and make yourself small and in the corner, that's one way. That's fine. And that's necessary if you're demonstrating something in software. But in this case, when I'm not demonstrating, I'm just talking to the camera, I still wanted to break it up. That's about a minute. No, it's not a minute, but it's, say, 35, 40 seconds of me just talking. So I add B-roll. And when you add B-roll, so what I did is I added, so that's B-roll, that's B-roll, that's B-roll. Okay, so you can kind of see when, let me just play through it. Or due to be released June 4th. I'll be hosting a virtual unboxing of the new version on that day in a live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, June 4th. If you want to learn about all the new features and see me share my screen and demonstrate them, be sure to stop by. You don't have to be... Okay, so it breaks things up. And what I wanted to let you guys know, because some people don't know this, and kind of really makes your life, like, there's 2 ways to do this. You can identify where you want to put the B-roll, right? And you can cut out what's below it. Like I could have done that, right? Like create a space for this piece, put it there, and then tighten it back up. I get the same thing. June 4th. I'll be hosting a virtual unboxing p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. Okay, but that was a lot more work. You don't have to do that. B-roll can just be placed on the track above your A-roll. A-roll is your main video, usually the talking head part of a video. Just put the B-roll on top. You don't have to worry about what's below, right? It's also a good way to hide jump cuts. Like these would be jump cuts right in here. Like watch, I'm going to play across this cut line here. Open to anyone. You can even ask. Notice how I kind of shifted there. I kind of jumped. Are open to anyone. You can even ask. Okay, so one way to hide a jump cut is to throw B-roll. I'm just for display purposes, I'll just use another copy of that. To anyone. You can even ask questions. That hides it because it hides me altogether, so you don't see the jump, you don't see the cut. Another thing you could do to hide a jump cut is come to either the first one, the first clip, or the second one after the cut, and make an edit, like have a zoom in. So I'll come up here, I'll change the scale, right? If you change the scale, games are open to anyone. You can even ask questions during, okay? There's a little bit of a lag there when you see it play back in the Camtasia timeline, but once you render, that lag won't be there. But basically that hides the jump cut, because people, when you do a fast zoom, like when you do a cut zoom like that, people don't notice that you also did a jump cut there, right? That's lost because they're more focused. Their mind goes right to the fact that it's a zoom in, it's a cut in. Okay. One other trick, if you ever do that, so like in this case, if you look, if I zoom out here, notice how the overall video is larger than the canvas. Okay, I have it zoomed in a little bit already. And you can see over here it's 112.5%. But notice how I've zoomed and lowered it, right? So most of what I'm cutting off is at the bottom, and hardly any I'm cutting off at the top. That's because if I go back to there and there, I felt like my head, my eyes were too close to the top. And if I just did a straight zoom in from that point, right, I'm too high. So I also wanted to adjust it down like that. So let me just back this up. So my point was going to be, if whenever you do a cut in or a zoom out or anything like that, if the focus is on the person speaking, then you want their eyes to be in roughly the same place from one cut to the next. Okay, roughly. So in this case, you can see my eyes are right here. I mean, you can do this to know exactly. Let me just throw a shape here. So there's my eyes. And then when I cut in, oh, see, I was a little too high. So I probably should lower it to there. Okay, so my eyes are in the same, and in fact, it looks like I might even want to shift it over a little bit to that side. So now if I just hide that top track, let's see what the jump cut looks like now.
Are open to anyone. You can even ask questions.
So if you keep the eyes in roughly the same spot, whether you use a guide like that, or I don't usually, actually that's the first time I've ever used a guide like that. I just wanted to show you a neat way you could do it. But whether you use a guide or just eyeball it, that will help retain people's attentions as well. Because generally, if people are watching you on video, it's usually your eyes they're looking at, right? Eyes, face, or what, face in general, but the eyes are the focal point. So that's a little tip to keep in mind when you're doing that. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So let me go back here. That was timeline basics. And yeah, so just jumping right ahead to the next one says, I'll get to the chat in just a sec. I think there's a couple other comments, but just going down here, I showed you a bit of a preview of tomorrow's video. So the upcoming videos, tomorrow's, as you just heard, is not at all what I have written down here. Animation hack. Oh yeah, it is. And so I may change the the thumbnail that I've got for it. So what I've got so far is this tricky animation. So I'm highlighting 3 clips here and how to animate across 3 clips. And it's fairly simple. You can probably even guess how to do it. There's 2 different ways to do it. Let me refresh that page. There's an error occurred. There we go. Oh yeah, and there's the thumbnail I made for next week's live stream. Like the hat. This is Canva, by the way, if anybody isn't familiar with using Canva to do their Photoshop type work. I use Canva to do that. So yeah, I don't know if I like that title though, tricky animation. Maybe animation hacks is what I think I might change that to. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. And then after that, I don't know yet for Friday, but I've got a couple of possibilities. Dual camera scene, how to edit a dual camera scene. Somebody once asked me how to do that. And then the other thing I've got written down, and I only have 2 days left before the reveal of 2024, Friday and Monday. I have Camtasia 2023 review. What was new in the 2023 version, And the notes I wrote down, maybe you still have 2022 or older, or want a refresher before 2024 comes out. Let me know if that's something you think you'd want me to do. And I don't know, do most of you use Camtasia 2023 right now, or do I have anybody there that watching this that uses an older version, 2022 or older? I'd be interested to know that. Because if you're using an older version, you may want to know if what was added in 2023, and I could do a video on that. So let me know what you think about that. Let me see, where were we go? Sybil says, it seems like jump cuts are such a trend. So many videos have them, and some have them every few seconds. Yes, they do. And so two trends. 1 second. Mouth's getting dry. This is the most I talk all week, these 2 hours. I'm usually pretty quiet. But so yeah, jump cuts are kind of a trend. But I'd even go so far to say as there's a new trend taking over all the jump cuts. So anybody know who Mr. Beast is? Very popular YouTuber. He's got over 100 million subscribers. He gives away a lot of money for free, like lots of money. That's probably why a lot of people watch him, try to get some of his money. But he's probably the most successful YouTuber out there. But his videos, what they've been are fast-paced cuts, like especially the intros. Like I'm gonna say, in the first 30 seconds, there may be like one cut per second. So whether that cut is let's call it an edit, one edit every second. Whether that edit is a jump cut or text slamming onto the screen or flying in or sound effects, something moving, or cut to another scene or then into another scene. Just a lot of fast moving and probably cutting to what's going to happen. What are you going to see later on in the video? Because maybe later on in the video, something like, oh my God, happened. Maybe somebody, I don't know, crashed their car into a light pole or something. I don't know. And maybe they just took a second of that and put it in the intro. Trying to get people hooked on the video is what that's all about. As the video goes on, there's fewer and fewer cuts. Okay, so that's like a fast-paced, and lots of people are trying to imitate that, because it's a good way to keep people watching your video. If you want success on YouTube, you need people to watch your videos for longer than just the first few seconds. You need to retain them, retention, and fast hitting with lots of hooks in the intro is one way to do that. So yes, that's definitely been a trend, and it's a trend because people have used that very successfully. But what I think is becoming even more popular, and I'm seeing more and more of these, and I'm trying to do this a little bit myself, and that's people just being more authentic, real, just being real, and lots of content that is completely unedited, like someone just talking to the camera. I don't feel very comfortable doing that right now, and as you notice from the videos that I've shown you, a lot of them have a lot of cuts, right? I do a lot of jump cuts, especially in my intros, especially for videos where I want people to stick around, but I mean, it's not as important, I suppose, for my types of videos where I'm making tutorials teaching people how to do things. If you want to learn how to do that thing, you're going to watch the video, unless somebody else has a video and they're teaching you faster, right? But I think once this whole 2024 excitement kind of settles down, and I've got several videos of all those new features on my channel, then maybe I'll kind of rein in my 3 videos a week thing, and I may not put out that many, and I may try to do some more authentic type, like just me talking to the camera, like these live streams are just me talking to the camera, really. I mean, I get some prompts, right? I've got you guys in the live chat, and you guys, I'll answer some questions, and that's great. That keeps me going. I put together a table of contents that I follow. That keeps me going. I've got lots of screens I can move around and show you, and buttons to press and the stuff to do. So that keeps me going. But if I'm just me talking to the camera, it's not a person. That's not a set of eyeballs I'm looking at. It's a camera lens, and it takes a lot of getting used to get used to talking to a camera. You may notice that I don't always look right in the camera. I'm looking here. I'm looking there. I'm looking everywhere. So if I were to make a video like that, and I have made some, like last year, I made a couple sitting out in a boat, just thoughts of the day, I called them at the time. And I should probably do another one of those. I might be a little more comfortable in front of the camera now. But yeah, just, if people start connecting to you, they get to know your face, they recognize you from your videos, they get to know you, for lack of a better term, they're more apt to want to watch something, just you talking. You're talking authentically, right? You're sharing your thoughts. So that is more of a trend these days that I've noticed as well. So not so much, I feel like the jump cut thing, although there's still lots of good uses for them, not being quite as heavily used as it was maybe 1 to 5 years ago, or just 1 or 2 years ago. A lot more authentic type videos I'm noticing anyways. So do you guys notice the same thing? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, because one thing I heard, which is kind of funny, think about this. The YouTube, if you guys spend any amount of time on YouTube watching videos, the YouTube that you watch is completely, well, it shouldn't be completely, because we're all talking about Camtasia here, so we see a lot of the same things, but it's probably completely different to the YouTube that I watch, right? So YouTube gets to know you, right? You sign in, right? You have an account with YouTube. It remembers your history. It knows what you're searching for. It tries to show you videos. It tries to show you thumbnails of videos it thinks you want to watch, because that's how they get more eyeballs on the videos. That's how they make more revenue, more money, right? So because of that, if every human is a unique human, your own person with your own likes and dislikes and thoughts and whatnot, then YouTube over time will be different, completely different for you than it is for anybody else. And because of how many videos are out there on YouTube, I forget what it was, but there's something like, I don't know what it is, 100,000 minutes of YouTube content uploaded every minute of the day or something. It's crazy. Like, it would take you something like 300,000 years to watch every YouTube video that's on there now, and every minute you wait, there's another 10 years of content uploaded per minute. Like, it's crazy the amount of content that's available to watch on YouTube. And so even if you divide that up into a billion people, right? That's a billion different YouTubes. I'm getting a little bit philosophical here, but anyway, it's just something that made my mind just kind of go, wow, that is crazy. There's a lot of content on YouTube. Okay, let's move on. Where are we here? So hopefully, Sybil, that helps. Oh, wait now. No, I missed that. Sorry, let's back up. This is the comment I had here. Jump cuts. Yes, so yeah, those are my thoughts. Definitely a trend, sometimes overused, but definitely a use for them sometimes. David Bergeson, dual camera, please. Yes, I use 2023. Okay, cool. There's a vote for dual cameras. I will do that, 100% for sure. Do that. And Diego uses 2023. Very good. Sybil, I was using 2022 until I realized there was an update after watching your tutorials. IT missed updating mine. Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah, I guess sometimes it gets missed. 2023 would have come out, I think it was last May, April or May of 2023. So yeah, it's been around. It's been around for a bit. But yeah, if you miss the update, they won't update it for you automatically. Oh, what did I do? I did this again. The mouse wheel, if I'm not careful, I'll end up resizing the messages here. Oh, and I resized the whole thing. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm messing up my here. I'm messing up my overlays. There. All right, fixed. That's Ecamm. Diego says, for future webinars, audio editing, do you use Camtasia? I don't use Camtasia for audio editing. I don't use Audiate, which is Camtasia's audio editing software. I have not used that. What I use is Adobe Audition, only because I've been using it forever and I've gotten used to it. I don't have to use that. I know it's not cheap. I think I pay $30 a month for it or something like that. It's the only Adobe product I use anymore. At one time I had the whole suite, but now just Adobe Audition. I use Audition to record my voice, to process my voiceovers, like add bass, add treble, remove noise, things like that, add compression. And then I bring the audio into Camtasia and sync it up with my video. So that's what I do. But you don't have to use Audition. You can use, there's some free ones as well. There's Audacity is a very popular one that a lot of voiceover artists use. It records just as well. The software is not as important as the microphone and your audio interface that connects your microphone to your computer. If you have a microphone that's a USB microphone, then you don't need an audio interface. When I say audio interface, I am referring to this thing here. So my microphone is plugged into this, okay? And that is my microphone, a shotgun microphone. And then that audio interface is plugged into my MacBook. Okay, but there are USB mics out now as well, and some of them are very good, and you don't need an audio interface to make it sound good. It sounds good plugged right into your computer. So, but the audio recording software you use doesn't really, it's going to all capture the same thing. It's the effects you can add after it, I suppose, would be different. But Audacity, I believe you can do pretty much everything in terms of editing the audio. You can do everything that Audition can do in Audacity. Okay, so that's one you can use. What's the other? WavePad? WavePad? Is that one? I think that's the name of another one that you can use, software that you can record your voice in. So no, I have not recorded my voice directly in Camtasia before. Nothing against it, just because I've never used it, so never had the need. Okay, so but I have not gone over audio editing yet, mainly because I don't do it in Camtasia. I do it with Audition, so that would kind of be a non-Camtasia video, which I'm perfectly willing to do, but probably after we get through the release of Camtasia 2024 and I get those videos done. But I can certainly kind of go through the process in a future live stream of Adobe Audition. I can show you that, no problem. Okay, so hopefully that helps. James Ryan, hello James, welcome to the live stream. I'm late, got to play back later too. No problem, you only missed almost 2 hours worth. You're welcome to play it back and watch it on the replay. So I've basically just been going through, I'm only about halfway through my list here, but the rest of it can kind of go fairly quick. And I may not get to everything here. There's one thing that I want to go, in fact, I'm going to jump. So I talked about upcoming videos. I've talked about what's coming out next. I got one ready to go tomorrow. It's already uploaded. The thumbnail's done. That'll be released tomorrow. I've got to work on Fridays tomorrow, and then I'll have another one Monday, and then next Tuesday is the 2024 release date. So Camtasia 2024, already talked about that. Again, it's coming out next week on Tuesday, June 4th. And come back to this live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to go through everything that's new and wonderful in Camtasia 2024. And you guys can let me know what you think of it. I will demonstrate it. I'll take questions and answer them while demonstrating. And that'll be fun. That'll be a longer one as well. So that's what's going to happen in the future. Now today, what I'm going to talk about, I've already been talking. So okay, I can make this short, but there is going to be, I'm going to make a video on this, Stream Deck integration. So Stream Deck is this guy right there. That is my Stream Deck. I got to figure out how to stop this camera from auto zooming. But that thing there with the buttons, I press these buttons to change, see that's an iPhone InnoView monitor, and that's my monitor there. Okay, so that's the Stream Deck. And somebody asked me, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was in the last week's live stream or in a comment, can you integrate Stream Deck with Camtasia? And the answer is a resounding yes. And this is kind of not really new to me. I guess I always knew you could do it. It's just not something I ever did. But picture this. Let me share this screen with you again. Let me get rid of that. Covering my eyes. So you all know about shortcuts, okay? Keyboard shortcuts in Camtasia. You can map any keyboard shortcut that is available to you within Camtasia to a button on a Stream Deck. Okay, so when I first kind of figured that out and looked it up, and oh yeah, no, that's how you do it, and I did it and it works fine. At first I was like, well, why would I want to do that? Like I've got my hands on my keyboard here anyways. If I know the keyboard shortcuts, I'll just do them, right? And maybe taking my hands off of the keyboard to hit a button on this Stream Deck is going to be extra time consuming, right? But then I thought about it. Some of the keyboard shortcuts, and I'll show you. So on a Mac, so this is a difference between Camtasia on a Mac versus PC, where the shortcuts are located. On a Mac, you have to go up here to Camtasia 2023, and then you click on Settings. See that right there? On a PC, I can't demonstrate because I'm on a Mac. On a PC, you go up to Edit and then Preferences. Okay? And then you get to your shortcuts in there. So, but here you go to Settings. That opens up this window here. Then you click on Shortcuts on a Mac. And here are all the shortcuts. So a lot of them you may know, right? But look at them. Like there's a list. There's canvas options, captions, export options, timeline editing. There's a lot there. Timeline navigation. There's even more there. So I don't know about you, but I don't remember all these. This is a lot to remember. I remember the ones that I use all the time, right? And the ones that I just get used to. That's great. And not only are there a lot of them, but some of them are several keys. I don't know if there are any 4-key ones, but there are 3-key ones. And these are all, you can customize all of these. If you don't like the key combination for these shortcuts, you can change them, okay? But so instead of like this one here, zoom to fit is, so that's, I never remember if that's shift or control. That's shift. Shift, command, 0. Okay, so on a PC, it's probably shift, control, 0. Okay, 3 things you got to remember. Well, map that to one button on the Stream Deck. So maybe for some of the more obscure ones, so follow me here. I have my Stream Deck on my right side here. It's by my right hand. Well, that my hand is always on my mouse here when I'm editing. So it's a pain. So the way I edit, if you can see, mouse here and shortcuts on the keyboard here, or type, right? If I move this Stream Deck over to here, right, then every once in a while I can just go boop and do a shortcut like that. 1 key press instead of remembering 3. And not only that, but with the Stream Deck, you can name your buttons. So I'm not going to be able to. I'll just tell. So every button on your Stream Deck, you can put a custom icon on it. 2 icons, one for toggled on, one for toggled off if you're using it to toggle something. Or if it's just a keyboard shortcut, I can just say zoom in, right? I can type in, I can have on the custom icon the text right here, zoom in, instead of this here. So if I look at the Stream Deck and I see zoom in, I'll just press zoom in and it'll happen. I don't have to know that the Stream Deck did that combination of 3 key presses, okay, in order to make that happen. But that's how you can do that. So if I set up the Stream Deck on my left side, and some of these more obscure ones that I don't remember but I could find useful, I can just program to a Stream Deck button. And I'm going to make a video on exactly how to do that, okay? So that's about as far as I'm going to take that one today. I just wanted to let you guys know that yes, you can do it. Okay, so whoever it was that asked me that, I think Greg, I think it might have been you. Yes, you can do it, and I will show you in greater detail how to do it. But if you have a Stream Deck, you probably already know how to do it, but maybe not, and I'll show you. Okay, so do we have any? So one other thing here before I move on. Sybil says, to Diego, I downloaded Audacity after a suggestion a couple of weeks ago. It is much better than trying to edit audio in Camtasia. Oh, there you go. Okay, good to know. I downloaded it too, but I haven't gotten that far along with it yet. But I know it's got to be relatively easy because a lot of people use it. So there you go. Good to know. Moving right along, let me go to ticker tape text. This should be a relatively quick thing to show you. I had a question. Actually, I apologize, Pam. She had to ask me twice. I forgot to. I don't know if I forgot to make a note of it or I didn't get to it last week. But let me show you quickly how to set up a ticker tape in a video in Camtasia. So what you do. So what I mean by ticker tape, or what we mean, is scrolling text along the bottom of your screen. If you want to have some text kind of scroll across the bottom of your screen, here's how you do it. So I will just do that here. Let's go up to annotations, and we want text. Let's bring text down here. In fact, let me scale this up a little bit so I can see what's going on. Let me make this one smaller. Okay, you guys can see where I'm working here? Yep, all right. So I've got some text. Let's move it down. What's going on here now? I've got some funny things going on here. Bear with me 1 second. I have to restart that. Actually, why don't I'm just going to start fresh right here. New project. Here we go. That was acting kind of weird on me. So here's my screen. So set your screen size to what you want. There's 2 things you want to bring down from annotations. So I was going to start with the text, but now I'm going to start with a shape. But what's going on here? I can't drag anything. There we go. It's like I could only drag perfectly vertical or horizontal, but I hit my control key twice and now I can move it around. I don't know why that was. I probably activated a shortcut that I don't know about. If you guys know about it, let me know. So let's put this at the bottom. I obviously don't have canvas snapping on, so let me turn that on. View, enable canvas snapping. So there you go. Let's stretch this out across the bottom, and let's say this is going to be where our ticker is, and let's say it's at Here, let's just go into my projects, live stream, video. I'm just going to bring, so this is the trailer video I made for this live stream here today. So let's say I want, so this is the video and I want this ticker to go across the bottom. So you would bring that there, you would change the color. Let's say I want it to be, that's pretty abrasive, I don't know, like a blue, I guess. Stretch it across the entire video if you want it to occur throughout the entire video. Okay. Is it just me or is that a little hard on the eyes? Let's just bring that color in there somewhere. All right, there we go. Now let's go get our text up to annotations, text, and just drag any text box down. I'm going to put it there as well. And what do we want to say? Hello there, how are you? How's that? All right, so there's some text. So change the size to it's the size that you want. Okay, maybe let's make this bold. Okay, that's fairly easy to see. Okay, so that's that, and we can make it smaller like that. Now let's say we want to animate it from right to left. So let's drag it across here over to here. I still have timeline snapping on. That's why it's easy to know exactly where to put it. You want to drag this perfectly horizontally. If you don't have timeline snapping on, then all you do, then when you drag it, oh no, what did I do? Oh, that was timeline. Sorry, canvas snapping. We're working in the canvas. If you don't have the snapping on, then you could easily fall out of vertical alignment, right? So to avoid that, let me just Control Z. To avoid that, hold down the, hold down the Shift button as you drag this. It'll force it to only move horizontally. Okay? The same way if you want to force something to only go vertically, you hold down the same key, Shift. It's just that it'll know whether to go to limit you to horizontal or vertical based on what your first motion is. So if I hit Shift and my first motion is up, I can only go up even if I'm trying to go side to side. Okay? So anyways, I'm going to turn canvas snapping back on, and I'm going to drag it over here so it's off the screen. That's my starting point. Okay? Now let's grab an animation, custom animation, or Shift A is the shortcut to bring one down there. And we want to animate it across the screen. Okay, so holding Shift down, I know I don't have to because I have snapping on, but we'll drag it over here. That's going to be the ending position. So let's see what we have.
Join me today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for my weekly live stream on editing video.
Probably too fast, so let's stretch this out. And let's make the animation occur over the entire timeline.
Join me today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for my weekly live stream
like that speed. So that's how you play with the speed, right? You just adjust the length of this in the timeline. Let's say we're happy with that speed. Okay? Well, maybe you want it to happen more than once, say, okay? So if that's the case, make a copy. Control C, Control V. So, and you can stack them one after the other like that.
YouTube using Camtasia. I'll be answering some questions I received throughout the week.
Okay, and then you just keep pasting them however many you want. If you want to speed up the process, you can highlight 3, Control C, Control V, bring them all back, and then this last one, you can just trim this end back like this. Okay, so
last Tuesday, as well as giving a sneak peek at the video.
Okay, so that's one thing. Let me point something else out to you. I'm going to Control Z to back up. Okay, let's say, so let's put this one back. Let's say
Camtasia. I'll be answering.
We don't want it to go completely off the screen before the next one starts, right? We're looking at all blue screen. Maybe we want them to occur more often. Then the way you do that is you would put it up on another track and put the next one here. Have it start before the first one's finished. like that. See that? Okay, and then you can, you know, copy that and paste there. Well, maybe like this.
Live stream on editing videos for YouTube using Camtasia. I'll be answering some questions I received throughout the week, and I'll also be...
Okay, and then you can highlight all 4 of those, copy and paste, bring it back here. Okay, and we probably don't need 4 more, maybe 2 more, like that. And maybe we want 1 more for right there. Okay, and then we'll trim these 2 back. No, not that. I want to trim the end, like this. And same with this one. Okay, so it starts like this.
Join me today at 1 p.m.
And in fact, I would probably, just to clean this up a little bit, I'd probably put a fade transition on the blue bar so that it fades like that.
Join me today at...
And probably even the first text box like this to fade them both on together. Whoops.
Join me today at 1 p.m. Eastern.
And at the same time, I'd probably do the same thing at the other end. Fade them out like that.
Eastern time for my weekly live stream on editing videos for YouTube using...
Okay, and then the end would be...
We'll let you know as soon as the live stream begins. I'll see you soon. Join me today at...
Okay. How was that? Does that answer your question on how to do that? How to make it, or maybe you don't want it to look like that, and maybe you want it even tighter. If you want even more, like that still was, you know, here, let's delete all of these. If you wanted them even tighter than that, then here at this point, let's drag it back to there. Okay. So you've got 2 like that. You first want to decide what you want written in there. So you would first write it out and then know how long it is and then size your annotation accordingly and then start cutting and or copying and pasting them. Okay, so if I want 2 like this, I can't, if I just copied these, right, and pasted them here like this, well, I'm going to actually wind up with another long blue blank space. See that? It wasn't very long between the first 2, but very long before the third one. So in that case, I'm going to want to stack 3 of them. Control C, Control V, and I'll stack them. And I'm looking at the distance between here and here and here, and just kind of eyeballing it to see if it's, no one's actually going to look and see that, you know, to check your math to see if you're exactly at the same intervals. So that's the way I do that. I'd probably try to have one here like this end. Here, if we zoom in here, I'd probably try to have this one end, like line that up with that. Okay, so that I can easily cut and paste the next group. Okay, that looks okay there. So if I highlight those 4, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and slide them back in here. Yeah, that was pretty good. Highlight all of those, Control C, Control V, paste, and then 1 more. Right, and then it'd probably go right to the end. If I zoom right in, put my playhead right at the end there. Easiest thing to do is to highlight all those and press the S key to split them and then delete. So it's ending like, what did I do? I did something wrong. I have one doubling up. Oh, yes. I don't want that one. Or that one. Or any of them on the bottom. They were doubled up. Anyways, I think you get the idea. Makes sense? Cool? Hopefully that helped. That is the ticker tape text that I wanted to show you. And any questions on that or anything else before I move on to the last thing? We got up to 16 concurrent viewers today. Thank you guys. I think that's the most. That is the most ever. So thank you very much. Hopefully you're getting some value and you're learning something here, and hopefully you're not tired of me yet. If there are no other questions, I'll just move right on to the next thing. So after ticker tape, we have multi-clip animation. We got here. Greg says, thanks, Rob. Okay, I think that was about the last thing I did. No problem. Stream Deck. Pam says, cool. Awesome. Glad. Hopefully that's what you were looking for. And Steve says, I think it was 18 earlier. Oh, yeah, you guys can see that too. Perfect. Oh, we're down to 15 already, so I lost somebody. Okay, so multi-clip animation. What I'm talking about here is, and this is tomorrow's video. So if you split something up and you have multiple copies, I'm trying to do two things at once here. Let me cancel that. Delete. Let's go back to my projects. Animate multiple clips. Animate multiple clips. The sample project. We'll open that. Here is the sample project. I'll share it with you guys. We'll fit that to the screen. That always kind of glitches when I move from a 4K monitor to a 1080 monitor. To fix that, I just click this fit here, and it fixes it. Okay, so this is the sample project I used in tomorrow's video, and let's say, so here's the problem. The problem is you got 3 clips here, and you want to animate across all 3 of them. Okay. You can't drag an animation, so I can't, let's say I highlight them all, grab a custom animation and put it here. I have to choose which clip I put it on, and if I can't drag it past here. I can't drag it across 3 clips. Okay? There's 2 ways to do it, and I'm about to give away tomorrow's video. It's a fairly simple video, but you'll help support me and you'll watch the video anyways, right? I'll just show you. What you got to do, you highlight all 3. The first way, which has its limitations, is you would right click and you would group them together. Okay? If you group them together, now it's one thing that you can bring a custom animation down to. Okay? And now you can do whatever. If you want to scale it.
My channel to join. My live streams are open to anyone. You can even ask questions.
Okay, right through the jump cut that was there. So that's one way. But the problem with that way, okay, is, I don't know if you noticed, but before I grouped them, see how I was already zoomed in anyways? You can see some extra video here that goes beyond the canvas. As soon as you group them all together, right click and group, you lose that extra space. Okay, so that if you then want to do an animation, say you want to do an animation in, that extra space that is gone won't allow you to.
I'll answer them live.
Like it's gone. So hopefully, if that makes sense, right? You've lost whatever. If you're grouping things that you've cropped in, then whatever you've cropped is gone by grouping them. Okay. I'll back that up. So how do we get around that? Well, what you do, you highlight them all, you right click, and you go to Stitch Selected Media. Okay? You didn't lose this extra space around here. It's now one clip, and you got these 2 stitched lines. And you can even right click those. You can remove a stitch, remove all stitches if you want, or just leave them. And you can do a custom animation across stitches like that. Whoops. Like that. And you can do a zoom in like that, say.
Stream, and I'll answer them live. So hopefully I'll see you Tuesday.
Okay? That's it. That is how to, where are we? That is multi-clip animation. And I think I'm going to call that animation hacks. I guess multi-clip animation. That's a lot of text to put on a thumbnail. I got to figure out what text I want to put on the thumbnail. But that's all I wanted to show you there. Okay. Oh, Sybil says there were 21 at one point. Woohoo! Woohoo! Indeed. Awesome. That's great. Does anybody else have any other questions? Anything else you'd like to see me? So I've got dual camera. I've got to do a video on dual camera editing. And I also need to get more into subtitles and show you how to do the subtitling in Camtasia. That one I don't think I'll get to this week. That might have to wait till after the release of the new version. But I'll try to do the dual camera video either Friday or Monday. Okay. Yeah, so the next time I'll see you guys live, if you have any other questions after this live stream is finished, then you can leave it in the comments below, okay? Or you can comment on any of my other videos. Any questions you have, if after you watch any of my videos that generates questions, you want to know how to do something else, let me know. Any questions you ask in the comment section of a video don't have to apply only to that video. That's just a way you can get in touch with me. And then that's how I gather questions and suggestions for future live streams and videos. So whatever you want to see me help you with, let me know, and I'll do that. So yeah, I think that's it for today. If there's no other questions, thank you everybody for stopping in. It was fun. It was a long one. It was almost 2.5 hours. But I bet you next week's will be longer, so get ready for that. Camtasia 2024. I'm excited, and I think you will be too once you see it. So, yeah, that is it. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great week, and look for my video tomorrow, and then one on Friday, one on Monday, and then I'll see you live next Tuesday. Okay, thank you very much. Talk to you soon.